have a friendly against a big team in the middle of the week like this between two big games. How do you prepare for it, and what are you ultimately hoping to get out of it?
Good performance. Showcase maybe some younger players and no injuries. That's what we're hoping to get out of it.
With Portland coming up in the game right after that, I mean, always a big game when they're in town. The playoff series last year.
I'm going to argue that Dortmund, is a very big club as well. So obviously we need to make sure we do not look past that. I want the guys that step on the field to make sure they're focused on Dortmund, because we obviously want to, again, put on a performance. Fans are coming to pay money to watch us play, so we need to make sure that the group that gets out there is prepared and organized and anxious to play.
And not to overlook Dortmund, but what do you think the Timbers have been able to do lately to kind of get it going for them? It seems like they've been playing pretty well over the last month and a half here.
Well, I think Gio did it last year as well. I think they went through some early challenging periods, and then he kind of figured out a way how his team played based on his personnel. I think he's done the same. We got a couple new faces in here, so it's just, again, when you go through the long grind of an MLS year, sometimes, in these stages of the year, you find out what works, what clicks, who's healthy, who's playing well, who's in form, and I think he's done a good job of identifying those areas. And look, they had a tough stretch because they haven't played many home games because of the remodel, the renovations. So I'm sure on Thursday they'll be happy to be home. Short trip up here, it's not too much travel, and then they'll look at, the rest of the season. We got a lot of home games.
In terms of finding your rhythm and momentum and all that, how important was last weekend's game, having everybody back, to kind of prove that you guys still had that sort of combination that worked?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, obviously, anytime you play the defending champs, you're going to be up against it. You can talk about the trials and tribulations that Atlanta's had. They're still a good team. They still have very super talented players. So that was a big game and a good win for us to establish certainly that home field advantage. I think we've done really well at home. Now we just have to springboard that into a couple more road victories and see where we end up at the end of the year.
Has balancing minutes been a challenge as compared to other parts of the schedule? Because you have two games and then you have just a friendly in the middle. So has balancing minutes been an issue as compared to some other weeks?
This is actually the first test of balancing minutes because we've been shorthanded. I guess you could say the first few games of the year we could have rotated some guys, but the team was going good, and it was early in the season. But for this friendly, for the next couple of games, when you have everybody back, there'll be some more balancing of the team and giving guys rest when they need.
For the game tomorrow, how do you manage getting a representative team out there that, as you said, prepared versus having to knowing that you have a game on the weekend?
Well, it's 2 days. It's 2 days rest in between any starters that we have out there. They'll certainly see limited minutes. But again, it's just we gotta buck up. This is a big game. Guys should be excited to play against Dortmund. It's a good test. So there's plenty of guys that are chomping in the bit to play. The biggest thing is just recovery and making sure there's nobody at injury risk.
Nico walked off the field during training. Just any update, or was it just
No, he's just sore. I mean, those guys put it in on Sunday. So days like today, guys are always on their individual programs. That's why we have a good medical staff. So.
Is that the same for Jordan Morris, who had the day off?
They all did regen yesterday. They're all on their separate programs.
Can sometimes a friendly before rival kind of help, the team, just kind of the fun part of the game?
Utra can tell you the stories of, Chivas a few years back, I don't know what year, another one he always brings up. We've used some of these exhibition games to kind of start or continue an uphill, momentum. Young kids get to play, they're enthusiastic about playing. So, yeah, definitely.
Henry Wingo's not been out here. Is there any issue with his health status or just?
Nope.